Hey, what it do, guys? It's D back again for another video. We're gonna talk a little sports tonight. I actually may drop a history video, some ancient history. I may not. I'm not sure. Um, and another thing too, before I get started in the sports thing, I want you guys to be aware of your surroundings in the sense of the world and the what's going on because there is deception, there is propaganda, there is different agendas going on. I don't care if it's vaccines, I don't care if it's whatever you will. Like there are different things going around. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be cognizant of that. You have to be cognizant of the what's going on with the food supply, the chemicals in the foods, the GMOs. Like this is a sports video, but I just want to say like we have to not be so wrapped up in sports that we forget what's going on in this world because it's a lot of stuff going on and everything is moving. But let's go and talk a little sports. Man, where do we start? LSU. We see that they are um, they got rid of their staff, fired Bo Pelini, and I don't even know why they hired Bo Pelini to begin with. Um, Seriously, that's no excuse to even hire him at that price or any price, but they did, and you kind of see where they're at. So they let him go. The fans are clamoring for the defensive coordinator for Cincinnati. But the thing about that is, I think that brother wants a head coaching job. So it's going to be interesting to see um, if that is a possibility. Because now I'm sure if they raise his salary, he may think about it. Because coaching in the SEC is a big deal in the sense that you're around better players. Um, More than likely, you're on TV a little bit more. So I could see him actually taking that deal. And then I've heard there some people have recommended. What about the cornerbacks coach? You know what I'm saying? He's very well respected, but others are saying no, he shouldn't get a shot at being a defensive coordinator here for the first time. I think that's an interesting kind of way to look at it because everybody needs a first time, but I get what they're saying in some ways as well. So it'll be interesting to see what LSU do. I think Coach O is on the hot seat next year. We're going to see what the quarterback situation is looking like. They're going to have talent because they're still recruiting. But I think they've taken maybe two steps behind Alabama at the moment. And I think Alabama's going to continue to reload after Matt Jones goes to the NFL, after Devontae Smith go on, after, Harris goes on. So they have some other players coming in, and they're really getting a grassroots pipeline into Texas when it comes to recruiting too. So you want to keep your eye on that. Um, the Texas situation is still fluid. It'd be interesting to see what goes on with that situation. So just we're gonna let it play out now. Like I told everybody, the Texas situation is not over. So supposedly Texas is gonna try to talk to Urban Meyer. Now here's the thing with that. Many are saying even though they're gonna try to talk to him, it's still not a guaranteed deal that he wants to come back to them. But I'll say this to that. Urban Meyer, if I'm not mistaken, didn't sign a contract with Fox. He didn't re-up his contract, if I'm not mistaken. So if he didn't re-up his contract, and he's a smart man, and he's a businessman, and he's a wise man, you don't think he has something lined up, keep an eye on that situation because I don't think the situation is over. Aggie fans are really upset because they didn't get into the playoffs, if you will. But I think I don't think they deserved it. I think when you look at Alabama, when you look at Clemson, when you look at Notre Dame, even though they had that loss, and then when you look at um, goodness, who's the other team? Let me pull it up. It's called a little brain little. They call it a brain fart. Ohio State. There you go. Ohio State. Um, so when you take into all those teams, I think that's the right teams. Um, and I'm going Clemson over Ohio State. As far as as this thing go forward. And then I got Bama over. I got Bama over 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 Notre Dame and Clemson over Ohio State. I think Bama is just, of course, more talented. Have the advantage there. I think the thing with Notre Dame is not a bad team, and I like Brian Kelly, and I think Brian Kelly has done a decent job. I don't necessarily like his offenses, but Brian Kelly has done a decent job. But they don't have a big chance with against those juggernauts in Bama because they can hit you in so many ways on the offensive end. I don't think Bama's defense is as stellar as it used to be, but they're still solid. And then when you look at Clemson, Clemson have put a lot of billboard material up on the wall for Ohio State. But the thing about that's going to be, can you stop Trevor Lawrence? Because it's going to be Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Fields. That's the bulk of it. When you're talking about which quarterback can lead their team to the next level, along with their other players, along with CERN, along with, when you're talking about Etienne. So you're talking about still ballers on the front end, the back end, and the veteran linebacker for Clemson. So you're talking about a good group. You're talking about coaches who are capable. But I will say this: I'll probably give the coaching edge to Clemson in this game because from an offensive standpoint with Elliott from the Venerables, you're talking about two highly regarded assistants along with Dabo. So I give that edge to them. It'll be interesting to see how Ohio State comes out. Some of the other games. I think A&M maybe on upset watch against North Carolina. I'm personally gonna still pick Texas A&M because I think they're still a better team. It's gonna depend on what money you get. Sometimes he's a good quarterback, sometimes he's inaccurate. So it's gonna depend on that situation. Of course, North Carolina, some of their ballers are opting out. They still have talent. Mac Brown is gonna, he's gonna have a disciplined, pretty good program. But I think I still go A&M on that. Cincinnati, I'm not really buying them going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this thing play out because I know a lot of people were picking a couple of my buddies picked Cincinnati, and that one I don't necessarily agree with. But I got Oregon over Iowa State. I got Georgia over Cincinnati. I got Florida over Oklahoma. I have I have Ole Miss over Indiana. But you know what? Give me Indiana on that with Tom Allen. Give me Indiana on that. Give me Kentucky over NC State. Give me um, give me Auburn over Northwestern. And that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a really tough one. Give me TCU over Arkansas, Army over West Virginia, and some of the smaller ones. You give me. I think Tulsa can beat Mississippi State. That might be an upset. Tulsa over Mississippi State. Give me Texas over Colorado. Give me boy, some of these ball games are gonna be really nice. Give me I don't know who all gonna play though. Give me Oklahoma State um over Miami barely. Coastal Carolina over Liberty. And that's gonna be some good games. So, college football is coming to an end, as far as the season. So, enjoy these bowl games. The other sports are kicking in. Of course, tonight we know what's going down. So, you can catch me on BS3 Radio every Monday. Now I don't say every Monday, but we've been consistent. I know my boy Ben is always consistent because that's his platform. So whether I'm on there or not, he's going to be on there. So tune in anyway on Mondays at 9 o'clock, bs3radio.com. And I will hopefully be on there consistently is what I meant to say. So signing out, just give a little college football news. And then I want to talk real quick Auburn. I almost forgot about that. They fired Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn came from the high school roots, with the extension of Texas and high school football. Had that job in Auburn along with Chad Morris, another high school guy. you know, their system did get a bit predictable. I don't know the ins and outs of the political landscape because I've heard the donors run a lot of the stuff up in Auburn like they do everywhere in some ways. But I think that Auburn, you know, I don't know. I don't know who they're gonna get. I mean, you got the UAB coach. You got they're gonna have to they're gonna have to get a coach who's willing to put his roots down there. Not one of these fly by night guys. Not one of these, waiting for a better job. They're gonna need a guy that's gonna be ready to take that program to the next level. I think he needs to have some experience because he's gonna be in a state with Saban and right next to Louisiana State and some of the other teams. So it'll be interesting to see who they get. I thought they should give um, Elliott a chance, but the fans look like I don't know if they really want him. Just that and the other. Um, Clemson's DC, DC I think will be a good opportunity, but he supposedly turned it down. So we'll see what comes about. We'll see what comes about. So yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Signing out. Y'all have a good one, man. Peace.